Katrina here from CopySmiths.com. I think that we can often learn from other websites, and so I'm always just looking for interesting, creative, human-centric creations that people do. So I'm not so interested in AI and robotic sort of generated boring things. I think that when people are very creative and they come up with very different ideas, and even though the Lakewood Eye Centre is not, the biggest online store in the world, it's got an interesting idea in its FAQ that just kind of made me think. So because they don't sell, they're not an online store, they don't have the typical FAQs that we might have as online stores, which is, when's my delivery arriving and how much is the postage and do you ship to Timbuktu? But they've used an FAQ page in a little bit of a different way. And I think that we can still use this. So if I was running a sunglasses shop online, I think I would have my typical FAQs of, when am I getting this order and, all this sort of stuff. But then I would probably have like a fashion FAQ as well, because And I'd have that structured in the pages section, particularly if you're using the Shopify CMS. I would have that in the pages section as opposed to in the blog section, just because Google does look at those. We've seen evidence that Google looks at pages a little bit differently to blogs. But anyway, my point being, I would totally have an eyewear fashions FAQ. Do these glasses make my face look fat? But what? Here we go. These are my new glasses. They're green. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, they're pretty cool. I do like them. They're much lighter than my other pair. Anyway, I thought this was interesting. Hang on, I'm just going to cough. Oh, I'm still getting over this cold. How do I improve my makeup look under my glasses? But they've done videos, so I thought that this is a really great way to do an FAQ. You could totally have a standard FAQ, which was, when's my order going to be delivered? What happens if they break? How do I get a refund? But you could also have another FAQ about the look and the fashion, which just incorporates videos from your YouTube channel. And so I don't think that the execution of this is not brilliant, in that I think they've gone a little bit too berserk with all their sharing is caring, and then they've got get social with us, and then was this information helpful? And I won't be mean, but I'll just sort of put that, and you can see that maybe I'm the only one who's voted. So whilst I sort of like those ideas, they haven't been utilised, so maybe it's not a super popular page, and we probably don't really need this kind of thing. But anyway, each to their own. But my point being that I think that the integration of videos into each of these is great, because again, it increases dwell time. So however long this goes for, 8 minutes, if you manage to get someone to watch 3 or 4 minutes of this page, if you manage to get someone to watch this video, your dwell time on the FAQ page will be a little bit higher than the average of all your other pages. And then Google sort of says to itself, this is quite a popular page because the dwell time's quite high and the bounce rate's quite low. I think I'll maybe rank this page a little bit higher for these types of questions. So I think that I would, if this was me doing this, are there certain sunglass rules guys should follow? And then I would, just the same as we do in all our content at CopySmiths, when you have a subheading, I would make sure that was an H2. I would then have text immediately after it that clearly summarized and answered the question. So I would say, yes, there are 4 sunglass rules that men should follow in order to feel comfortable and fashionable. And so what I did was very specifically said the word yes or no. You have to be definitive. You've got to stop sort of writing. Maybe sometimes, it depends. You've got to stop doing that, because Google just doesn't cope well with that. It likes the yes or the no and the definitives. And then I said there are 4 rules. So I then defined how many rules there will be. And then so I say, yes, there are 4 rules that guys should follow, because I'm reiterating that H2 back down into the paragraph text that guys should follow for to be comfortable and fashionable. So I've picked 2 themes. And then I would say watch the video below to learn the 4 rules, plus I give you insight into I don't know, picking a color for skin color or something. Let's say I'm really pale and green goes with my skin color better, and this fellow's got darker hair than me, maybe red, matches him beautifully. And so you would then, you add that little teaser in, and then I think that they would get more clicks and views on this. I would definitely move this sharing is caring down, because I think that you want to be very linear with your readers to say, this is the question, here's a quick summary of the answer with a little teaser in it. I think I will now watch that video because I'm about to invest 8 minutes of my whole entire life, as you are right now. You've invested 5 minutes if you've gotten up to this point. Thank you very much. So I would put that text above it, then the person decides whether they want to watch, get rid of this sort of stuff. And I just don't think they really need all of this, but you could test that. And so anyway, they've got that for every single one of those, but that's how I would change that up a little bit. And I think that just uploading some thumbnails, using good thumbnails with a picture of a person, would be a good idea. Sunglass website. I love how they've got this font resizer. I thought that was a really cool little idea. When, it could almost be, it's fun little Easter eggs. It's fun little Easter egg ideas like this. You can see the font's changing. That people go, oh, that's a fun little idea. If you were a fountain, I know I have to use these examples all the time, but if you were a fountain pen website, you might have a little CSS widget that allows people to change the font color to your favorite ink palette. If you had a eyewear site, you obviously the font resize is a good idea. Let's say if you had an iPhone case, what would I do as a little fun creative idea for that? I'd probably have a ringtone every time you clicked on a button or something. Maybe you'd have a different ringtone that they could use when they were using your site. I don't know. Fun little things like that. Or maybe the mouse would turn into a phone icon or something. I mean, that takes a bit of loading speed, but it's fun. I think that we need to be more creative with our content online, and I think we all need to have a little bit of fun with it, because when we have a bit of fun and we're a bit more creative with the content, the experience for your customers goes through the roof. So in summary with this one, even though this is not a massive online store selling glasses, I do like how they have this video integrated in, and I love this concept that you can have multiple FAQs in your website. You don't have to just have one about deliveries and returns. You can have another FAQ sitting right next to it that talks about the fit of that product or how to use that product, or just even some fun stories about that product. You can have different types of FAQs because you never know what people are wanting to read and what is going to help them connect with your brand. Okay, so that's all I've got for you now. If you want more of this type of information, sign up to the CopyZine newsletter at copysmiths.com/copyzine, and we send out loads of this type of information so you won't miss any tips that you can share with your team and integrate into your own online store. Okay, bye for now.